from the Rogers Center, where today the World Baseball Classic opened with the U.S. beating Canada 6-5 to the ACC, and a neat twist on the story involving the two venues. Here's Elliot.
Well, Ron, back in 1970, Steve Tambellini was the pitcher, and David Bay, the center fielder, has trailed BC's Little League team, went to the Canadian Championship and lost in the final 2-1 to Valleyfield, Quebec. 39 years later, David Bay's son and one of Steve Tambellini's players continue to do the region very proud.
What's going on, man?
How you doing, man? Good to see you. How you doing? Good.
Here's Horcoff revving with the shot. He scores! Pitch hit high in the air by Jason Bay, way back towards the wall, but it's gone. Jason Bay from Trail, British Columbia.
They were born 3 days apart in September 1978, the younger boy focusing on baseball, the older one on hockey. 30 years later, both made it big.
All right, so Jason, first time you met Shawn, what do you remember about him?
Oh boy, now we're going way back.
I remember that, yeah.
You know the story, right? I mean, I haven't really met him, but our moms shared the same hospital room when we were born. So I mean, you could go with that. Yeah, yeah. She called me. I got back with 45 minutes. The baby was born.
Caught it all?
Had the
Oh, that's good. Yeah, nice.
Had the ball game on by 8 o'clock.
Now, you're a huge Yankee fan, Shawn.
Yeah.
When you heard that one of your good friends was traded to the hated Boston Red Sox.
Well, my best friend, too, from Castlegar is a huge Red Sox fan, right? So that's how I found out right away. He texted me, did you hear the news? And I knew there was rumblings, right? You know, you hear all this. And I said, no. And I knew right away, right when I got the text message. So I texted him right away, and I said, you know, nowadays that's easier to get a hold of anyone than calling, you know. So I texted him right away. I said, man, I don't know what to say. I said, you know, I love it that you're going, you know, you're going to have a chance at winning the World Series. And I know that's what, you know, he always wanted, and let's be honest, that's what you play the game for, right? But I said, I mean, you know I'm a Yankees fan. This is going to be...
Jason, for you, I heard that because of Ray Ferraro, you were a big Whaler fan, and that transferred to the Hurricanes too, right?
By default, yeah.
So 2006, they're in the Stanley Cup Final. Who are you cheering for?
I never got many text messages. I never got many text messages.
It was a no-lose. It was a no-lose situation, I guess. It was like, yeah, you know, I mean, you know, I like to cheer for the underdog. You know, Carolina hockey. You know, it was good for hockey, but at the same time, you know, obviously you want someone, you know, to get a ring. So it was, you know, I think on a personal level, just because I'm a fan of a team, I would have much rather seen them win. But you know, the consolation was just seeing another team win, and I can't. Sorry about that, but you know, I won either way.
Yeah, I totally understand.
Bay is already on Trail's Home of Champions monument, while Horcoff is the pride of Castlegar, 30 kilometers away. Neither was a sure thing. Horcoff was a 99th overall pick, and Bay was a 22nd rounder.
What's it like? You guys, you grow up, you're friendly, you're 3 days apart in age. As your kids, you dream that you're going to play in the NHL and you're going to make Major League Baseball, and you're standing here all these years later and you've reached your dreams with each other.
I mean, it's, you know, statistically it's probably not very likely. I understand that, and but I mean, for me, and I probably the same way. It didn't really seem any, you know, you did it because you liked it, and you know, and you never really think that it's, you know, hey, I'm going to go to college, and then, you know, hopefully I get drafted, and then I go, and you know, until somebody says it's not going to happen, you just keep doing it because that's what you do, and all of a sudden, you know, for me, I look back and I've been in the big leagues for 6 years now, and it's kind of feels still like I just got here, you know, and I guess when that wears off, I'll probably be done.
You know, you just expect you're going to play in the NHL. I mean, you have to have that confidence in yourself and the belief that you're going to make it, or else you never do. So when you do, you know, it's a dream come true. But then, you know, after you play, you know, the first 3 or 4 years is kind of, I found myself watching a lot of games, like watching the players on the ice, amazed at what was going on and who I was out there against. And then you get used to it. Then you realize that you can play in the game, you can play, you can be successful, and you can be a good player. And then you try to really contribute, and then it becomes normal, and that's what you do. It becomes your job. and you know, you just get used to it. So, like I said, if this interview would have happened 5-6 years ago, it probably would have been a whole different feeling and situation for the both of us.
Probably wouldn't have been an interview.
Who are these guys? This will be a good year for you. Whatever happens, it's going to be a good result.
If you guys were to switch sports for a day,
I'd be in single A.
who would be better, you at baseball or you at hockey?
I don't know.
You'd probably
seen you
better
play
hockey.
baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up playing hockey for a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and say my skating's probably not as crisp as as it should be, but I could probably stand up at least and get out there and last a shift and not get pummeled, I hope.
Yeah, I'll be the first to admit I'm not good at baseball. I never played it, right? I'm going to use that as my excuse and blame it on my dad, but no, he'd probably be better for sure.